Now, our next speaker is the head of rail franchising for Greater Manchester. So please welcome Caroline Whittam.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. Welcome to Manchester. In the infamous words of Tony Wilson, this is Manchester. We do things differently here. I've worked for TfGM for 12 years now. I actually started in the tram team, managing that contract, and then I moved over to the rail team where I work now. Before that, I worked in various jobs in Network Rail, started my life on the railway out as a graduate trainee, so I've got to see lots of different departments and different functions in the railway and how they work, and that's really helped me in my career. The thing I really like about working for TfGM is we really fight for the things I believe in: a better place in Greater Manchester, better transport, cleaner air and sustainable journeys, which are really important to me, that I come to work and do something that makes a real difference. I am a working mother, which means that I'm always balancing about 25 things at home and at work. I'm mother to a precocious 9-year-old who is very into choir, the relevance of which will perhaps come up later, and a very energetic 4-year-old who really keeps me on my toes. So in the spirit of doing things differently, I'm actually going to read you a poem today because, as I'm sure you're all aware, it's National Poetry Day today. I'm then going to do a spot of mindfulness with you. Then I might talk about the railway for a little bit, and then I'm going to finish off by asking for your help. The reason I'm reading you a poem today is not just because it's National Poetry Day, but also because this poem puts into words the spirit of the people and places that are Manchester and the greater city region here far better than I could ever do. This is Our Manchester by Ryan Williams. A grey Tuesday morning, 'neath Lancastrian skies, we wake once again to wipe tears from our eyes, forced to wear robes of weakness and pity, as cowards attack the very heart of our city. Like always, we'll comfort and hold one another, a Mancunian family of sisters and brothers. For a time, our strut is reduced to a stagger, but make no mistake, we'll rekindle our swagger. We'll learn how to live with another deep scar. If you think you can beat us, you don't know who we are. We're Collyhurst, Ancoats, Moston and Sale. We're Oldham and Bury, Ashton, Rochdale. We're Pankhurst and Turing, the Gallagher brothers. We're Morrissey, Marr, and a million others. We're a city of workers, a city of shirkers, a city of tracksuits and Bibles and burqas. Vegetarian, Rastafarian, atheist, Jew, 100% red, 100% blue. We're each of us different, but never alone. In the cosmolopotopia we get to call home. So come at us again and again if you must. Time after time we'll rise from the dust. You'll never prevail, not against us. This is Manchester, our Manchester, and the bees still buzz. Of course, that's a poem about the attack on the arena that hit the very heart of our city region, but also the very heart of our railway here in Manchester, and so it felt apt today. And what I feel that poem really does is bring the sense of belonging that Manchester has out in it. And it's that sense of belonging that we need to bring to the railway. Many of you may have been fortunate enough to be here 2 years ago when the magnificent Amanda White spoke about our case for change, which was about devolution of stations in Greater Manchester and how we want to bring stations to the heart of communities here in Greater Manchester and communities to the heart of stations. We didn't get devolution of stations back then, but we have been working tirelessly with industry partners to try and bring some of those concepts to life. But I'm sure I will not be alone in this room in saying that the pace of change on the railway can be frustratingly slow, and our ambitions have not wavered. In fact, they have grown. We want to bring services and stations closer to the people that they serve. We want to build on the PM's announcement for devolution of this great city region and all of the different assurances that we've heard over the Tory party conference here in Manchester over the last few days to make that happen. But what we really need is the sustainable funding streams to come with that so that we can work with you, the supply chain, and make these things happen. So I'm aware that I promised you a bit of mindfulness today. This should work well with the candles and the ambience in the room. If you haven't done this before, please do not worry. It's very easy. I'll talk you through it anyway. And it's a nice excuse to have a rest, maybe even a little snooze in the middle of the day. So please close your eyes and focus on your breath. Relax your body. Be aware of your body and the surfaces that you're in contact with. Feel where your feet make contact with the floor. Be aware of how comfortable the cushion of your seat is as you travel at 140 miles per hour from Leeds to Manchester. Be aware of your bones creaking as if you have suddenly aged 15 or 20 years. You may open your eyes. We have come to the future. You just came from Leeds to Manchester in 30 minutes. But now what? Your plans are changing. Your watch buzzes. You've got a text, or whatever it is in the future. Your friend suggests you go for a meal in Uppermill. You don't know where that is, but no problem. Your app tells you to get the next train to Greenfield. But what's that? There's no train for half an hour, but it only took you half an hour to get here from Leeds. And the train is a 5-car diesel. Really? And the station is still not accessible. What if that chair you were sitting on was a wheelchair? So yes, we need HS2. Yes, we need NPR, and we really do. But we need so much more to make GM work for its people and places. In June this year, Andy Burnham, Mayor of Greater Manchester, launched our network. And the concept of our network was an integrated transport system. This circle that you can see on this slide is fondly known as the Death Star internally, because it's so busy. But the reason it's so busy is it overlays all the different modes of transport. So the point is the door-to-door journey. We've already heard about how the door-to-door journey is the biggest barrier to non-users using the railway at the moment. And the door-to-door journey is what we're all about at TfGM. So it's about being able to get seamlessly from one mode to another, from your doorstep to the place you need to go, and to make many, many hop-on, hop-off journeys throughout the day without the need for pre-planning them. So you need the information there, but you also need the infrastructure there to do it. And that is the only way we're really going to get people out of their cars, when they have the confidence to know that they can make those journeys by other modes and sustainable modes. Now, the logic of our network is that all the different modes need the same 5 characteristics to really make them work for people. They need to be convenient, affordable, sustainable, accessible, and most of all, accountable. So what does this mean for rail? Well, last week, you may have seen it, we launched our prospectus for rail. And our prospectus for rail is our answer to just that. It's our vision for the future of how we can make Greater Manchester work and the rail aspect work for people and places that they need to work for. Because Manchester is congested and it just doesn't work at the moment. Performance is very poor and we need to do something differently. I think that's been recognised by many speakers before me this morning. So to pick out my favourite page from the prospectus, the first step is to make the best use of what we have available now. There's a lot of work already going on in this space, but this is basically saying, yes, we've got limited infrastructure available to us at the moment, but how can we better use it? What can we do with services? Let's be a bit radical. Let's really think about this. Let's get performance up. So that's stage 1. Stage 2 builds on that, delivering more capacity and better connectivity. This is about longer trains, and it's about higher frequencies and understanding how we can bring that in without damaging performance. And better connectivity isn't necessarily about linking every place with every other place with a direct train. It's about thinking about that logically, about understanding where people go from and to and where they need to get to, and making interchange really easy. Because the barriers to interchange are that people don't know that when they get off the first train, they will definitely get onto a second train in a frequent and reliable way. If they knew that, they'd be far more up for it. The third stage, which is very key to us, is a devolved and accountable rail-based network. So this is delivering on the promises that city regions can make more decisions about the stations and services on behalf of the local people. And the fourth stage, the utopia, so to speak, is this full integrated travel between all modes, so that rail is playing its part in an integrated network across the city region and, of course, beyond. This is our plan on a page, which takes a lot of those concepts and a few more, and tries to, in one go, encapsulate everything that we're trying to do. It is split into two stages, the nearer term and the longer term. So the first stage is to reshape current franchises, which is what we've been talking about. Deliver on the infrastructure commitments that have already been promised. Integrated fares is absolutely key. In some ways, it's a quick win. In other ways, it isn't quick at all. But it's absolutely a step change that needs to be made. As compared to London, it's very, very difficult to transfer from one mode to another seamlessly at the moment, because you can't just do it with one ticket or to tap on, tap off, which is what people want to do. We need longer trains. We need more trams. We need new and better stops and stations. And we're looking at Tram Train Pathfinder and how that can help us achieve our vision. In the longer term, we're looking at devolved services and how that would work, and more metro-type services, so increased frequencies. This might mean that we need a regional centre metro tunnel or something similar, so that we can increase to the capacity that we actually need to serve the demand we know is there. We're looking at rolling stock standardisation, because this brings so many customer benefits, and it also is the one way to get real reliability on congested corridors. We're looking at expanding Metrolink, and it almost goes without saying that we need to deliver HS2 and MPR in full. We are part of the Connecting Britain campaign, and we are talking to government about how important it is that we deliver both of those things completely. So I'm just going to rest on the Death Star for a moment, because this is the bit where I ask for your help. Because there's an awful lot of people in this room who can help us achieve that vision. Because what we don't want is to get off those fast trains and then be faced with the network that we have today. What we want is a full network that's fit for the future. So if I can leave you thinking, please let it be about how you might be able to help us with the knowledge that you have and the skills that your businesses can provide. So right at the beginning, I mentioned my 9-year-old daughter. She always has the last word in our house. So I thought, why should today be any different? So hopefully this will work, and I'll leave you with this. Thank you.
People and places and accountability, resilience, capacity and sustainability, integrated ticketing, high-frequency trains. These are a few of Prospectus's gains. Overcrowding, leaking stations when things seem too bad. I simply remember the GM prospectus, and then I don't feel so sad.
Brilliant, thank you.